All right. Welcome, everyone. Ready for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at some stats about everyday life.
Everyday life, huh? Sounds pretty relatable. All right, so what kind of everyday stuff are we talking? Work, food, relationships?
Oh, yeah, we got all of that and then some. Romance, exercise, even stuff about cars and convenience stores. You know, the usual.
Okay, well, I'm game. Hit me with your best stat. What kind of quirky human behavior did you dig up?
Well, how about this? 48% of men, almost half of them, only call their moms on weekends.
Now, that's interesting. I wonder what's up with that. Is it just because they're busy during the week? Or is there something more to it?
Yeah, it really makes you think, right? Like, are weekends when guys, finally allow themselves to get all sentimental and stuff?
It could be, weekdays, work, go, 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 all about achievement. Then the weekend hits, time to relax, maybe tap into that softer side, right?
Yeah, I could see that. Makes sense. Maybe calling mom is like a little emotional recharge.
Could be. Hey, speaking of recharging, did you know that the smell of coffee can actually make people nicer?
Really? So that's why everyone's so friendly at the coffee shop. I thought it was just the caffeine.
Haha, maybe a bit of both. But there's research on this, The smell of coffee, it often gets linked to good feelings, positive memories, socializing. Like you walk into a coffee shop and boom, good vibes.
I can totally see that. I mean, coffee shops are pretty chill places.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, what if we just pumped coffee aroma into, all public spaces?
Now, that's an experiment I'd sign up for. Okay, so we talked about moms, coffee. Now let's get to work, shall we? This one's kind of crazy. 67% of people, that's more than half, have at least one real friend at work.
Wow, that many. Well, I guess it makes sense. You spend so much time with your coworkers, you're bound to connect with some of them, right?
Right. And sometimes those work friendships can be super strong, even more than some friendships outside work.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, think about it. You're going through the same challenges, celebrating the same victories, sharing those everyday moments.
It's like building a little community right there at the office. Okay, enough about all that nice stuff. Let's talk about crime. You ready for this? Bank robberies. Most common day of the week. Friday.
Friday! Seriously? Why Friday?
You got me. But think about it. Maybe it's payday for a lot of people. More cash floating around.
Yeah, maybe. Plus, Friday, it's the start of the weekend, getaway time. Maybe these robbers are planning a weekend getaway with their loot.
I like the way you think. Okay, this next one might ring a bell for some folks out there. 1 in 9 Americans have worked at a convenience store.
Wow. 1 in 9. That's a pretty big chunk of the population.
It is, right. I mean, almost everyone's had that experience. Stocking shelves or ringing up customers at a convenience store. It's like a rite of passage.
It really is. It's kind of amazing when you think about it, how many people have been touched by the convenience store industry.
Right. I mean, it's such a part of our daily lives. And speaking of things we do every day, get this, 54% of people, more than half, have no idea how to change their windshield wipers.
You're kidding, right? That's wild. I mean, it's not rocket science, but I guess a lot of folks just, take it to the mechanic and don't even think twice.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, ready for a slightly less fun fact? This one's about aging. People over 60 have lost about half their taste buds.
Wow, really? Half? That must make eating less enjoyable. I wonder if they just get used to it or if food starts to taste bland.
It's a good question, right?
Yeah.
Like, does your perception of taste change, or does your sense of smell become more important?
I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out eventually.
Speaking of aging, I've got a fitness tip for all the older folks out there and anyone who likes a good scare. Watching a scary movie can burn 320 calories.
Really? Is that from jumping and screaming? I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, probably all that adrenaline pumping. It's like a workout for your heart.
Maybe we should skip the gym and just have a horror movie marathon.
Okay, back to everyday life and things we all do. 20% of people, that's 1 in 5, call themselves at least once a week to find their phone.
Oh my gosh, I do that all the time. It's like my phone has a mind of its own, always hiding from me.
I know, right? It's like we're so attached to these devices we panic if we can't find them for even a minute.
Well, speaking of escaping reality, did you know that people spend an average of 18 minutes a day thinking about vacations?
18 minutes, wow. I wonder where everyone's dreaming of going. Beaches, mountains, some exotic island.
Yeah, it's fascinating how our minds crave escape, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. I know I'm always daydreaming about my next adventure.
Yeah, me too. Okay, back down to earth for a sec. Here's one for the working folks out there. 57% of employers say they're less likely to promote someone who uses profanity at work.
Interesting. I guess some things are still considered taboo in the workplace.
Yeah, even though the world is changing, certain things are still expected, especially in professional settings.
Definitely. All right, ready for another stat about relationships? Get this. 1 in 3 married women say they were disappointed by their partner's marriage proposal.
Wow. Really? It's kind of sad. I wonder what they were expecting.
Yeah, it makes you think about how important communication is in a relationship, even when it comes to those big romantic gestures.
Yeah, maybe a little pre-proposal conversation wouldn't hurt, just to make sure everyone's on the same page. Okay, here's a stat about cars that might surprise you. Almost 10% of U.S. households don't own a car.
10%? Wow, I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah, it's a growing trend, especially in cities where public transportation is good. And with ride-sharing apps and everything, maybe cars are becoming less essential.
Makes sense. I guess car ownership isn't as much of a given as it used to be. Okay, hit me with your last stat. Got any more food-related ones?
As a matter of fact, I do. For all you spice lovers out there, get this. Adding hot sauce to your meals can actually boost your calorie burn.
Really? So I can indulge my hot sauce addiction and burn calories at the same time? That's a win-win.
Exactly. All right, that was quite a journey through the world of everyday statistics. We covered everything from moms and coffee to scary movies and hot sauce. What a wild ride.
It really was. It's amazing how these numbers can tell us so much about human behavior and how we live our lives.
Absolutely. And you know what? It makes you think. What other hidden patterns are out there just waiting to be discovered? Maybe there are even more fascinating statistics about our everyday lives that we haven't even thought of yet.
That's a good point. It makes you wonder what we could learn if we really dug deep into the data all around us.
Exactly. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. But keep those minds curious, keep exploring the world, and keep an eye out for those intriguing stats that reveal the hidden stories all around us.
And who knows, maybe you'll discover a fascinating statistic of your own to share with the world.
Until next time, stay curious.
And stay statistically significant.